Welcome to Oconee County Board of Commissioners meeting. Today is Tuesday, March the 1st, 2022. If you're joining us virtually, to comment during the public comment portions of the meeting, please use the raise hand feature in Zoom. After a moment of silence, we're going to ask Holly to lead us in the pledge. Please stand. Thank you.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with justice for all.
Just for the record, Commissioner Thomas will be joining us virtually tonight. Our first item of business will be to approve the agenda. No, we'll do that at consent.
Okay. I make a motion to approve the agenda submitted.
Second.
A motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item is statements and remarks from citizens. This is for anything not on the agenda tonight. Anyone virtually? Thank you. Any statements or remarks from commissioners?
I've got one. I would just ask that everybody keep the folks in Ukraine. Say prayers for those folks and keep them in your thoughts because they are really taking the load. Thank you.
Also announcement on Thursday, March 31st at 6 p.m. Oconee County Board of Commissioners will host a town hall meeting, and this will be at the Oconee County Civic Center. This is meeting will be open both in person and virtually for attendance. This is your opportunity to kind of speak with the Board of Commissioners in an informal setting, ask any questions or point out any concerns you might have. Our next item is approval of minutes. This is for our regular meeting on February 1st and our agenda setting meeting on February 22nd.
I make a motion we approve the regular meeting February 1st and the regular agenda meeting on February 22nd as submitted.
Second.
We have a motion second, all in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now we're going to move into our zoning actions and matters. The first rezone will be rezone request number P21-0244. This is John E. Martin and Langela Smith Martin. This is AR to AR with modifications on to rezone 6645. It's 4.46 acres located at 1820 Wild Azalea Lane.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Again, this is P21-0244, located on Wild Azalea Lane. It is currently zoned AR in this Civic Center character area with a portion of suburban neighborhood. Again, the request is to rezone the property from AR to AR in order to modify the architectural sketches that were approved under the previous rezone of 6645. This is the concept plan as provided in the previous rezone. And these are the architectural standards that were set forth in the original rezone. These are the standards that are being proposed with this amendment. Staff recommends approval with the one condition. Planning Commission also recommended approval with the same condition.
Now we're here from the owner or the agent of the owner.
I'm John Martin. We're just asking for approval to use a little bit different siding than what was in the original zoning. It called for predominant brick siding or stone siding. We want to use a mixture of what would be cementous siding and stone accents. I believe we'll be able to meet or exceed all standards that were set forth. We are trying to build a very nice home and have it complement the neighborhood. It was approved by the Architectural Review Committee, approved by staff, or recommended approval by staff, and I don't think we had any objections in the last meeting with planning and zoning, so I asked the same here tonight.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Does anyone else wish to speak for this rezone? Anyone virtually? Does anyone wish to speak against? Anyone virtually? With that, we'll go ahead and close the public comment portion of the meeting and open up to any questions from commissioners. We'll entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we approve rezone P 21-0244 John E. Martin Jr. and Angela Smith Martin, AR to AR with modification to rezone 6645, plus or minus 4.4 acres with the one condition.
Second.
We have a motion and second for approval of rezone P 21-0244 with one condition. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Our next item is rezone request number P 21-0262. This is William, Kyle, and Shannon Setzer. This is AG to R1. It's 1.5 acres. It's 6141 Hog Mountain Road.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Again, this is P 21-0262, William and Shannon Setzer owners. This is located along Hog Mountain Road. Out of a portion of A 02031A is requested to be rezoned from AG to R1. So the parent parcel is this larger portion. It's currently zoned AG. It is in the suburban neighborhood character area. And again, the request is to rezone 1.5 acres from AG to R1 to build a single family residence. This is the proposed concept plan of 1.5 acres, with the remaining portion of the parent parcel being zoned AG. This is the example of the proposed architectural image. And staff recommends approval with our 2 standard conditions, but then with a third condition that the proposed 1.5 acre parcel be increased to 2 acres and rezoned to AR to be in keeping with the comprehensive plan. Planning Commission recommends approval subject to conditions 1 and 2 only. So they struck the staff's recommendation of condition number 3.
Yeah, we'll hear from the owner of the agent of the owner.
Good evening. I'm William Setzer, owner of the property, both mainly the adjacent we're looking to rezone. We look to go forward with the planning committee's approval of 1 and 2 of the 1.5 to keep the land on the clean lines that we have currently proposed from our surveyor, just to build a single family dwelling. Any questions for me?
We might in just a minute. Thank you.
Okay.
Does anyone else wish to speak for this rezone? Anyone virtually? Does anyone wish to speak against? Anyone virtually? With that, we'll go ahead and close the public comment portion of the meeting and open up to any questions from commissioners. With that, we'll entertain a motion. We've got a question. All right, go ahead.
To go with staff approval to go 2 acres, do I need to make that in the motion? The motion, the R1 to change that to
I believe so. Yeah, we would need to rezone that to AR with the 2 acre minimum.
Going back, guys, if you don't mind. So the property itself here is basically stopped right there at the blue line. They would have to go that direction to get to the 2 acres?
That's correct.
Just so we all know what the recommendation for you to 2 acres.
Yes, sir. Yeah, staff's recommendation was 2 acres. We'll go back into the comp plan. So this is all of the suburban neighborhood character area, and these single lots that we're talking about are typically larger lots. Obviously, the subdivisions that were approved out there, which are R1, was approved previously, but that's a major subdivision. When we see these single lots, I apologize, when we see these single lots, we're proposing, and we believe the comp plan supports larger acreage than the R1 1.5 acre.
Thank you.
Any other questions? We'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve rezone P 21-0262 William Kyle and Shannon Setzer, AG to AR. That would be to 2 acres, 6141 Hog Mountain Road with 3 conditions. Be not 1.5, but 2 acre lot.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve P 21-0262 with 3 conditions. Going to AR versus R1. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. All right, next item will be rezone request P 21-0266 Buffa Erickson LLC. It's B1 to B1 with modifications to rezone 4432. This is 2.7 acres on the northwest intersection of Hog Mountain Road and Mars Hill Road. There is also a special use with this one, special use P 21-0267 for the same parcel.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Again, this is rezone P 21-0266 and special use P 21-0267, located just outside of Butler's Crossing. This is the portion of C 02053 that is under, there's a subject parcel. It's currently zone B1 in the Civic Center character area. And again, the request is to rezone a portion of tax parcel C 02053 from B1 to B1 with modifications to rezone number 4432. And again, this is with the special use P 21-0267 to allow for the development of car wash within the Mars Hill overlay. This is the concept plan that you have in your packets. This is a zoomed in version of the proposed car wash. I will point to the buffer that is along the church parcel. That is a buffer detail that was with the previous rezone of 4432. This is what that buffer will look like, and is still required for this development of this parcel. These are the architectural images that have been provided. The overlay does require pitched roofs, so these would be the ones that apply. And staff recommends approval, conditional approval with the 3 standard conditions. Planning Commission also recommended approval with those conditions, but also added a 4th condition that a 10-foot wide landscape strip along the western property line shall be planted with evergreen plant material to be 6 feet tall at the time of planting and to form an opaque year-round screen at maturity. Staff does believe that the existing condition of the 10-foot planted strip would suffice for that. Thank you.
Now we'll hear from the owner or the agent of the owner.
Good evening. My name is Frank Pittman. I live at 1400 Saxon Road in Watkinsville. I'm here tonight representing the purchaser of the property, Mr. Rick Maxon, who is here tonight with his broker, Ben Doster. This, as Guy mentioned, this property is on B1 today. It was owned in 2005 for a commercial strip shopping center. And it's kind of sad. The road project came through and the DOT put in a curb cut, kind of not in the most ideal location to do a strip center on the property. It kind of cut it up in a weird shape. So Rick has come along. He's done a dozen car washes, including one in Oconee. He did the one in front of Coles on Epsbridge. So he's got a lot of experience in car washes. The site sets up well for it with utilizing the curb cut that GDOT put in. There's a decel lane that was installed with that. The car wash use would fall into the future land use map. It would fall into the existing zoning, just with a different use than what was approved before. It would decrease the significantly decrease the amount of traffic than a strip center would produce in that area. I mentioned this at Planning Commission. Everybody's always concerned about traffic at Butler's Crossing. I'm one of them as well. This would be a lot less traffic than what would come there with a strip center. And the times of the day that traffic does come to this fits nicely with not being during school traffic time of the day as well. So it's a good use for the property. Fits in well with Butler's Crossing. It's not a big drain or burden on county utilities or, and we talk about this a lot. It's a big tax generator without putting kids in school. So we like to hear that. We have discussed the buffer, the planning commission, the representatives from the church were here and had concerns about the buffer and making sure that we understood that there are some graves close to the property, and we're very cognizant of that. If you look at the plan, we're not really getting close to the church property, really because of where that existing curb cut is. So there's a good bit of area that really won't be disturbed very much to the left of that drive as we go in, and we have no issue planting the buffer as requested by the church. The staff has recommended approval. The planning commission has recommended approval. And I'm here tonight to, humbly request that you guys approve this rezone. I'm open for any questions y'all may have.
Thank you. Does anyone else wish to speak for this rezone? Anyone virtually? Does anyone wish to speak against? Anyone virtually? With that, we'll go ahead and close public comments and open up questions from commissioners.
Frank, let me ask you, would y'all be amenable to a fence along that church property line?
Yeah, that's no problem at all. The guy's got to pay the money. Let me, before I speak for him, let me volunteer. No, that's not a problem.
It's all wooded there, you guys see too, like it's big hardwoods that are,
Yeah,
can't even hardly see the.
I walked it. But I think the concern the church had was people getting into that area, throwing trash or anything like that. So we could get a,
Typically do that anyway.
we need to condition that. You know,
We can certainly add another condition to that effect. The 10-foot landscape strip is already there, as we talked about. So it would be, in addition to that, maybe a 6-foot high imitation wood vinyl fence along that property line adjacent to the church property it shares with the development.
I appreciate it.
So that would be the fourth, fourth condition? or-
Right, yes, sir. And yeah, both rezone conditions for the.
You were saying number 4 is met currently by,
It is.
In your opinion.
So the planning commission recommendation would not be needed. It's met otherwise. You could replace that one with the condition that in addition to the 10-foot landscape strip required by rezone case number 4432, 6-foot high imitation wood vinyl fence shall be installed along the property line of parcel C02046. And we added those conditions, or we added the same conditions to both special use and the rezone. So that same condition will need to go there.
so both of them have 4, will have 4 conditions with this.
Yes.
Any other questions? All right, we'll entertain a motion for rezone request P 21-0266.
I'll make a motion, we approve rezone P 21-20266, Buff Erickson LLC, B1 to B1 with modifications to rezone 4432 plus minus 2.7 acres, northwest section, intersection of Hog Mountain Road and Mars Hill Road, undeveloped with the 4 conditions. That's correct. That's correct.
All right, we have a motion and a second for P 21-026 with 4 conditions as discussed here tonight. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Now we'll entertain a motion for variance request P 22 special use P 21-0267.
I make a motion, we also approve special use P 21-0267. Same company, same area with the 4 conditions.
Second.
We have a motion and second to approve special use P 21-0267 with 4 conditions as discussed tonight. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Our next item is variance request P 22-008. This is Penny Everhart to reduce the rear setback for an accessory building greater than 144 square feet. This is 0.98 acres located at 1040 Creek Bridge Road.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Again, this is variance P 22-008, Penny Everhart, applicant, owner. This is the parcel, subject parcel and aerial view B04D003E. It's currently zoned R1 in the suburban neighborhood character area. This is the concept plan that you have in your package showing the location of the proposed garage. It will be at 25 by 40 as proposed, not a 30 by 40. The architectural images that were submitted with the application. Again, the property owner is requesting a variance from UDC section 410.01C2 and UDC table 4.1 to reduce the rear setback from 40 to 10 feet for the proposed detached garage. Staff recommends approval with the one condition that the rear setback shall be reduced to 10 feet only in the area of encroachment of the proposed detached garage. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we'll hear from the owner.
Hello, I'm Penny Everhart. I'm the owner at 1040 Creek Bridge Drive, and I am requesting for the setback be reduced on the one side from 40 foot to 10 foot to allow us to put a detached garage on the property.
Thank you. Anyone else wish to speak for the variance request? Anyone virtually? Thank you. Brad? Okay. Certainly. Barry, you want to come up?
My name is Barry Shiver. I live at 1091 Creek Bridge Drive, which is just around the curve from this house. We have a couple of issues with this variance request. The Planning Commission report had 4 grounds, and I'd like to speak to 2 of those. First of all, ground B states that the variance request will not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of the environment or other property in the immediate vicinity. Because, and the reason they gave was because it would be screened by existing vegetation and therefore would not be injurious to the use and enjoyment of the property. A couple of things with regard to that. One is that in the dormant season that which we're in now, that vegetation doesn't screen hardly anything. So I can stand on my front porch and look across down the creek, and I'm looking directly at where this proposed garage will be. The other thing to say about this is that the location of the garage, as I understand it, is directly up the driveway and will be sitting at the top of the driveway. So there's nothing blocking the view of this proposed garage from the road. So as you're walking by or as you're driving by on Creek Bridge Drive, you're going to see this garage. This is not a small building. I think originally it was supposed to be 30 by 40, and it's been reduced to 25 by 40. When it was 30 by 40, there was a 17-foot peak height to the peak. I believe, with the reduction, that's probably going to be reduced a foot or two, but it's still going to be maybe 15 feet tall. So it's not going to be a small building. If you look at the square footage of the garage, that's going to be more than half as big as the house that currently is on that property. So this is not a small addition to the lot. Staff also held that this is condition or ground C, that it's unlikely that the location of the proposed garage would significantly impact property values in the surrounding area. We tend to disagree that that's true. While it's true that there are detached garages in our neighborhood, and there are a good number of them, but those detached garages all are compatible with the way the houses and other detached garages in the area look. Typically, they are siding, or they're painted the same color as the house. They have asphalt shingles. This proposed garage is supposed to be corrugated metal, the way I understand the proposal. And so that corrugated metal is going to look more like a machine shop than it is going to look like our neighborhood. So we don't have other corrugated garages in the neighborhood. And so we definitely believe that this is going to detract from our property values. I don't see how that could possibly be a positive for our property values, or even neutral. I guess the only other thing I'll say, and I don't know that you have anything that has to do with the variance, but we have covenants for our neighborhood. And this is in direct violation of one of those covenants. I believe I emailed all of you copies. If not, I've got a copy with me if you'd like to see it. But having a building built that's detached from the home, that is not compatible with other buildings in the neighborhood, is a violation of our covenants. So,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Brad, would you like to speak? Carol? Mr. John? You good? Anyone else wish to speak against? Anyone virtually? Ms. Everhart, do you have an opportunity for rebuttal if you'd like to say anything else on the?
First of all, I'd like to say I've been at this neighborhood, it'll be 9 years in September when I close. I've never received a copy of covenant. I've never seen them.
If you would just speak to us, please. Thank you.
And if there's are those covenants, we would be glad to reconfigure our thing and include the hardy plank and the shingles on the roof lines.
Very good. Thank you. We've already, yeah. With that, we'll go ahead and close public comment and open up to any questions from commissioners.
I don't know that I have a question, but since we were talking about the homeowners, yeah, I'll ask you to help me. Would it be better to postpone this to another date to allow the neighbors to get together and resolve this?
That's certainly an option, sure.
Y'all folks in the audience willing to do that? Applicant? I mean, I'll be quite honest with you. I don't, as a commissioner, I don't want to have to settle homeowners association issues, but certainly we can do that, but I think it would be in your best interest if y'all could get together And then we set a date, come back before the commission. Y'all willing to do it?
Yeah, come on up so that people can hear you on the Zoom.
Are we allowed, I'm Carol Perry, I live at 1040 Windbrook Court in Windy Creek. Are we allowed to ask how this building structure, how it will be used, for what purpose, or is that nothing that we should ask?
Well, that's kind of what you can do in the amount of time that he's talking about. That give you all an opportunity to have some conversations with the property owner.
Okay.
Sounds like she's willing to make adjustments to the HOA rules. So that may be something y'all can figure out and then come back to us. It's kind of what the suggestion is.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate
I believe our next scheduled meeting is April 5th. So I guess that would be a motion to postpone action until April 5th, if you'd like to make that motion.
I'll make that motion to postpone this item until April 5th.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Mr. Chairman, I do
Yes, sir.
have one question.
Okay.
How will this building affect the septic system? Or will it affect the septic system?
We don't know right off. We can find that out in the next 30 days.
Okay, all right. Well, I would say during the discussion period, that should be part of it, and then
Okay.
bring that back to the next meeting when
Okay.
we discuss it.
Thank you. Any other discussion? All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Very good. Motion carries. Next item is amendments to the Oconee County Unified Development Code. This is for Articles 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 15, and Appendix A.
We left out 14. I apologize. Yeah.
Can we leave?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. Again, this is proposed text amendments to the articles the chairman mentioned and the appendix. Hopefully I'll get control in just a minute. There we go. We presented these planning commission on February 21st. The planning commission recommended approval with the one change to number 6, which would be striking the allowance of a special use for RV boat storage facilities in B1. Staff has no problem with that being removed. Otherwise, we can go through each of these, or if you have any questions, I'll be glad to answer those as you see
And we'll
fit.
see if we have any questions. Any questions from commissioners? We'll entertain them. Mark Thomas, do you have any questions?
I do not. I'm fine with all the recommendations.
Thank you. With that, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion.
I'm sorry, I'm sorry. We didn't
Yes.
get to hold a public hearing.
Oh,
on
I'm
this.
sorry. Very good.
Thank you.
Anyone wish to speak for these amendment changes? Anyone virtually? Does anyone wish to speak against? Anyone virtually? Very good. With that, we'll go ahead and close the public comment portion. And any questions, from commissioners?
No, sir.
Happy to entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the text amendments as presented.
Would that be with the change from the planning commission as well?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
I second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the amendments to the Oconee County Unified Development Code with the change from the planning commission included in that. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Our next item is consider appointments to the Oconee County Board of Tax Assessors. This is for 2 6-year terms to begin April 1st, 2022, expiring March 31st, 2028.
make a motion, we appoint Donna Smith Fee and Chris Robinson to the Board of Tax Assessors for the terms spoken.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Next item is consider finance director appointment. Justin?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. If you recall, Finance Director Wes Getting's final day was yesterday. Rather rapid approach, but I would recommend to you the appointment of Melissa Braswell as the Finance Director. Melissa is currently the Assistant Finance Director. She's a CPA, almost 20 years of experience in the finance field, both private and public sector. Very well respected amongst the other departments within her own staff, an expert in the field. Great job for us. Bachelor's degree from the University of Georgia. It's my recommendation to the board for her as the next finance director.
Very good. Do we have any questions? No. Very good. Melissa's here tonight. Thank you for coming. With that, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to appoint Finance Director Melissa Braswell.
And I second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. Congratulations. Next item is to authorize the sale of the elections and ward buildings and also the supplemental leases that will go with that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Commissioners. If you recall, we put on for sealed bid sales for the ward building and the elections building. After opening the top winning highest bid, it was recommending entering into a contract agreement with both would be for the ward building with the BSC Properties LLC. School, the elections building, Gary Britt. The ward building had a purchase price stated at $355,000. Election building $376,250. As part of this, we asked to authorize Daniel to proceed with the sales contract with both the winning purchasers as well as the lease back until the administrative building is ready to announce the.
Can you restate that bid for the elections building?
I'm sorry, the elections building was $376,250.
Three. Yeah, is it 376? Cool. Sounds good. And then you'll need authorization for us to enter into the lease agreement from that. Bring it back. Okay, very good. All right, any questions from commissioners?
No, sir.
Good. Any public comment on this item? Anyone virtually? All right, with that, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the sale of the elections building or the board building to elections building to Darren Britt and the board building to BSC LLC for the amount that
Very good. We have a motion and second. Any discussion?
yeah. With that condition.
Is that the second?
Yes, sir, it is.
All right. Very good. We have a motion and second to accept the sales bids contingent upon the lease agreements. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. All right, next item is consent agenda. I would like to ask to have one item removed for a separate discussion. And that would be item number 3, year-to-date budget amendment requests and necessary contract adjustments. With that, we'll entertain a motion for the rest of the consent agenda if there's no other items to remove.
I'll make a motion, we approve the consent items as submitted with the deletion currently of the number 3.
Very good. I have a motion second to approve the consent agenda with the exception of item 3. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. And we're going to ask Melissa to come up and explain why we had to do that.
Thank you, Chairman and Board. So February 22nd, we reported some budget amendments and requested your approval for those. And we come back tonight with one revision for you to consider. We had a specific line item under capital for the Parks and Rec utility workman Toro vehicle that we have more information at this time than we did last time than presented. So the costs have increased on a proposal. So we'd like to increase the requested amendment from 3,000 to 5,000. And that's the only change on your revision. So I recommend that change for your approval, and I appreciate your consideration.
Thank you. Any questions of Melissa?
No, sir.
Thank you.
All right, with that, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion that we approve the budget amendment with the change on the Rex Department from 3K to 5K on the toll road. That's submitted.
Second.
Very good. We have a motion and second to consider the year to approve the amendments as presented tonight, as well as the necessary contract adjustments. With that, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Motion carries. We do not have need of an executive session. So with that, Commissioner Saxon,
Motion to adjourn.
we are adjourned.